Hello. In this video today, I am going to focus on a deaf person's experience navigating the vaccination process. Obviously, our hearing families, you're welcome to listen to this video as well. However, you do have access to English language. So this is really more for our deaf community so that they can understand the process and make it more fluid for them. I am deaf. Luckily, my wife is hearing, and she happened to have already gone to get her vaccination. So she explained to me the process. So now I, in turn, since I've had the vaccination, I will share my same experience with you so that it is clear for all of you as well. First of all, I came into the facility, of course, with my mask on. Saw two individuals sitting in front of me. There was someone also by the door, but those two individuals were sitting underneath a registration sign. So I walked up and said I was deaf. Of course, they were a little taken off guard by that. However, she wandered off and came back with a laminated binder that had large print on it, that had pictures, etc. This was especially made because currently they are giving vaccinations to those individuals 80 years or older. So that makes it more convenient for those individuals who may be late deafened or may have vision issues. So ask questions like, have you been vaccinated? Are you sick? Goes through a whole host of questions. I gave them my driver's license. I asked if they needed my ID from work, and they said no. I asked if they needed my health insurance. They did not need that either, just my driver's license. I do want to explain to you, when you get the opportunity to do online registration, you should take advantage of that because that lessens the amount of paperwork you have to do once you arrive. So once I was all set, they directed me towards a line. So I went back and stood in line, and I could see a large room. As I surveyed the room, I saw that they had 8 stations established. Now, obviously, different locations will have different numbers of stations available. Some may have 150, others may have less. Mine had 8. So as I surveyed the room, I saw 2 people sitting in the back of the room that were under a sign that said checkout. So they make the reservation or the appointment for the next shot. So you do, regardless of the vaccination you receive, you do have a follow-up vaccination. And it may be that you get Moderna or you get Pfizer. Either way, once you've had that first shot, you do have to have a second shot. With Moderna, it's 28 days. With Pfizer, it's 21 days later. So I saw a space for waiting that we could sit at. And of course, everyone was separated 6 feet apart. There was also another area where I saw a person sitting near the checkout that had a clock by them. And there was a sticker that you see on my hand here. I went up to an individual and I could see that she was talking to me because her mask started shaking and she seemed a little unsettled by the whole situation. So she went off and spoke with some other individuals, and I said, I can just go over here. I know what to do. So they wrote a note and said, please wait, we'll get an ASL interpreter. And I said, no, I didn't want to wait. I knew that would extend my time. It could take all day to get an ASL interpreter there. So I was just going to write back and forth with them to communicate. I decided to use my phone. So I was texting just like I'm using my phone for this video right now. So there's an app called Big App, and it provides texting capability, and it's very large print. It also has a spot that you can click and it will translate English into printed form. So I communicated with them using that app. Then I wandered over to the seating area, and there was a nurse there. And of course I could see she was talking to me once again because her mask was moving, and someone else came along and they were having a conversation. Don't know what they were saying. I sat there and waited, got ready, took my coat off. I was ready to go. Then next thing I knew, a woman came up and she was talking to me, obviously, and she was calling someone else. Luckily, I happened to see a paper sitting on the desk, and there seemed to be a questionnaire for patients. So they were waving, and I saw it, and I said, this questionnaire, I pointed to it, and I pointed to all the different questions and answered no, 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 no with her in my eyesight. So she knew the answers were no. So she settled down. She wandered off. Interestingly enough, the survey had, I believe, 8 questions, or the questionnaire had 8 questions. And it was asking things such as, are you sick? Do you have any allergies? Do you have any food allergies? Any medicine allergies? Anything like that. The other 4 questions didn't really apply. They were for individuals who had already gone for their first round of shots. You know, are you sick? Did your arm hurt? Et cetera, et cetera. So that didn't apply to me. So obviously I said no to the last 4 questions. So I texted and to communicate with them and said all of my answers were no. So I asked if I could take a picture, and the woman seemed a little off-put by that. But I said, I'm just for myself. I'm not going to take one of you. And the reason that I wanted to take a picture was I wanted a picture of me getting the shot so that I could post it in different venues so that people would understand that it's a safe process, and encourages people to get that and spreads the word. So I went ahead and got the picture while they were doing the vaccination. She was talking to me once again. I could see her mask moving. And I pointed to the area I thought I needed to go to, but then she ended up typing something or giving me a card, which she said it was very important for me to keep. This is the card. This card includes the date and time of my shot and which vaccination it was. It was Moderna. So I have 28 days until I get this, or until I get the second round. When I go to the checkout, they'll give me the date for the second vaccination. So she also wrote on this sticker that you see here on my hand, they put down a time on that sticker. That time is 15 minutes after the time of my vaccination. You cannot leave the room for that first 15 minutes. So they pointed me to the correct area. There was a lady sitting with a clock near her. Basically, you have to go over and sit down for that next 15 minutes. So she wrote the time down. She filled out my card. It tells whether or not you get the vaccination in your right arm or left. It also has the date and the time, as I mentioned. So then she asks me my name, which I gave her that information, and my birth date. I always have that ready on my phone, so there it was, ready for her to get. She typed the information and put it into the system and set me on my way. I got the card. Now, what's really important is that you do keep that card until you get the second round of vaccinations, which she explained to me. So then I walked over to the next area, which is the checkout area. And there was someone talking to me again. Her mask is shimmying up and down on her face. And she looks at the card, looks at the date and time, asks if I'm good with February 10th. And I said, that would be fine. She told me the time was 10 o'clock. And I said, that would be great. Same time as I'm doing now. So she gave me the card and she documented date and time for my next vaccination. Then she sent me over to the next area. Of course, she wasn't signing. She just gestured where I needed to go. And I asked via gesture if I needed to wait 15 minutes, and she said yes. So I went over there, sat down, played on my phone for a bit till 15 minutes had passed, according to my sticker, which you see here. And then I walked over. They had a security station and possibly a nurse, I believe, who once again was talking to me. Her mask was moving. I just responded with a thumbs up to everything she was saying over and over and over again. I gave her the thumbs up sign. She's the one that told me, my wife told me, that right before you leave, they'll be asking, do you have a headache? Do you feel bad? Do you have any symptoms? So when I walked up to that station, I just gave them the thumbs up signal over and over again. And then I was free to leave. Now with the Pfizer shot, the first injection you have to wait 21 days for the second round. Once that time period is over, does that mean that you can take your mask down and just live life as normal? No, it doesn't. During that time, your body is building up immunity so that it can fight the coronavirus. That is building up in your system. Then when you get that second vaccination, that increases the strength of that immunity tenfold in your body so that you have that army built against the vaccination or against the coronavirus. Now, once that time period is up, does that mean that you are free and clear? No, it doesn't. There's another 2-week window after that second vaccination. So for me, that's February 24th. So February 24th is when I'm free and clear, supposedly. Now, I'm going to wait till February 25th just to be safe, but my body should be ready. Does that mean after February 24th that I will be able to take my mask down and just move about life? No, I will still be maintaining my mask usage. Of course, I am protected against the virus. However, if I'm out and about in the community without my mask on and I come into contact to someone who has the coronavirus, I could potentially be exposed to that. Now, my body will fight that off. However, that virus is still living in my system. And then if I interact with other people, there is that very potential that I could be passing it on to them, which then could cause them to be sick. They could die. I don't know. So even though I have this immunity, I will still be wearing my mask to make sure that others are safe. Additionally, they explained, as we each get our shots, say that I have the vaccination, I get together with friends who have also been vaccinated. It is completely safe for us all to remove our masks and interact and have a good time together if they have had both rounds of the shots and had that 2-week window after the last shot. I do encourage you to get your vaccination. More of us that get the vaccination keeps ISD safe and keeps our students safe. Hopefully, our ISD parents will get vaccinated as well, which will keep all of the ISD community safe because we care about each and every one of us. And that has broad-reaching ramifications to the larger community and the country. So please do continue to wear your mask.